Hey, how's it going, friends? I'm Darkoburi, the collector, and for this week's video, we're bringing back Rimuru Tempest. From that time, I got reincarnated as a slime. For this week's video, we're bringing back one of the characters I've loved the most from the latest generation of anime. Honestly, a lot of fans have told me, "Hey, Darkoburi, I don't know this anime. I haven't seen it." And I said, "Seriously, go for it. Head over to Crunchyroll right now or wherever you watch your anime." And honestly, I said, here comes Rimuru Tempest again. And here we have Millim. Let's just say it's a trio of demon lords we've got there in the anime. I'll try, since a lot of you told me you just started watching it, not to give too many spoilers, especially because it's airing weekly. Now, I'm all caught up. I've seen every episode, and it's just getting better and better. The first thing we're going to do is decide which of the three figures we're going to unbox first. And let's take a trip down memory lane to elementary school and say, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe." It wasn't me. It was Tet. Shmala, shmala. It's almost time. It wasn't. Let's open this figure first. Why? Because I'm going to save this one for last. It's a super exclusive figure that we bought at the Crunchyroll store. Obviously, these are two. Bandai is the one in charge of distributing these pieces through Crunchyroll, and they get delivered right to your doorstep. So, don't worry at all. Crunchyroll store is a safe website. It's awesome. You can find a ton of figures, and I just pre-ordered a whole set of all the characters that go with Rimuru Tempest. So, without further delay, let's get to the first one. Let's do this unboxing. I'm going to show it to you. So stick with us to see what's special about this Rimuru figure. And of course, it comes with a slime on his arm. I've never shown you this Banpresto line before. If you look, here you can see the Espresto line. It says it's made with clear materials. Honestly, let's check over here. It's still from Banpresto. It's a totally trustworthy company that makes figures ranging from, let's say, moderate but very good quality, all the way to really exotic and highly detailed figures. This Espresto line, if you notice, this figure also belongs to the same line. They're going to be super cool. Up here, there's just this logo. If you look, there's no additional information. Here you get the full spoiler of the figure, which is Rimuru taking on the form. Let's say it's a female figure, but obviously the character Rimuru is male or, let's say, asexual when he's in slime form. On this side, there's also a description of the figure and a bit of detailing on one side. On this other side, you can see the figure completely from the front, and over here, on the back of the box, you get a full view of the figure from behind. Here, we can see that our slime is wearing a suit or a black cape, and we can also see the color of the scarf. The color stays the same, blue. As you can see, nothing changes with this figure, but the clothing you see here, the pose, and everything else included in the box is completely different. And that's it. This is how the assembled piece looks. Honestly, it only came with the head, the torso, the sword separately. As you can see, completely separate, and the base. The truth is, it's a complete figure, very solid, quite affordable. And the other thing is that the base is really big, so our Rimuru Tempest doesn't move at all. Let's start with the hair. If you look, it's light blue here, but you'll notice some colorful details, almost crystal-like in this part. It feels more plastic here, and the light is a bit more noticeable. Check out the way the hair of our Rimuru reflects the light here. They gave him really long hair, as if it's blowing in the wind. Next, let's look at the same detail in the eyes. They have a honey color, kind of golden, and all the rest of the hair, eyebrows, and eyelashes are still blue, matching the hair perfectly. What surprised me just now while I was putting it together, let me take the head off a bit here. It actually fits together really well. is that the scarf doesn't fit like it does in other figures. The scarf usually stuck out from Rimuru Tempest's back. If you look, here it actually tucks way inside the jacket, and I thought, oh, this is a totally different detail. It's a darker color, more black, let's say, somewhere between brown and gray, kind of grayish. And I thought, well, it's going to stand out. A lot of times it sticks out from the back, especially the hair, but now the scarf is actually tucked inside the jacket. Here we're going to have a completely black trench coat, but with this detail on the arms, if you notice, it has white colors. On this arm you can see it completely, and over here it's a bit harder to make out. We'll do a close-up in a moment so you can see it. Here it's also white. If you notice, it goes all the way to the sleeve. Let's say it's a short sleeve and it goes up to the collar. This trench coat is super cool. Usually, trench coats are just like the ones in the Matrix, with long sleeves and all that. Here comes the sword. If you look, here the handle is completely brown with gold details, and other than that, it doesn't have anything else. Let's say, this katana doesn't have any other additional parts or extra details on the blade. So, it's really just a decoration here for our Rimuru. From what I've seen, the part you need to be careful with is the sword's handle. It's the most likely part to break. Be very careful when you insert the sword into the arm, because sometimes it's really tight and you might want to force it in, and this part here is what tends to break. Here it fits perfectly. If you look, it lines up with the thumb, with the whole hand, and there's no problem at all. It doesn't wobble anymore. If you manage to do it like this, it'll be at the same height as our slime, so to speak, touching it to act as a counterweight. Another detail about the piece that I also noticed is that the part where Rimuru stores his katana is kind of floating. It's only attached at a single point, right on the shoulder. Be very careful when you put on the head and when you handle the whole body, because that's another accessory that can fall off. Here, if you look closely, the sword sheath doesn't have anything else except for this gold-colored detail, and everything else is just like the figure, dark tones, which honestly suit Rimuru really, really well. Why? Because in the series we've seen him looking a bit more casual, like he's wearing jeans or sweatpants. He's just wearing a plain white undershirt, but here they give him an outfit that's a bit more, you know, for cold weather, a bit more like he's ready to fight. He's got completely black gloves, which is impressive. They go all the way up both sides, and he's also wearing a long-sleeved undershirt, but in a slightly grayer color. What they're trying to do here is create a contrast, the black, the gray, then black again, with the gold. And obviously with our hero, who has golden eyes and blue hair. What really surprises me here, let's put it in quotes, is that it's actually pretty cool, really cool, that it comes with the slime. We already did the Banpresto Collector's Edition box, which included this Rimuru Tempest. Well, not this one exactly, it was another Rimuru Tempest, but it's always either the slime in this version or Rimuru in a humanoid form. Here they include both, but here's the question. If Rimuru is the slime and transforms into Rimuru, the humanoid, why do they come together at the same time? The detail is awesome, but really, only one of them should be included at a time. Over here, if you look, you can see just the details. For example, the boots, very casual, very typical for our Rimuru. The pants are also dark, and the jacket he's wearing underneath is the one with the yellow detail here. I noticed that my figure had some small, faint yellow stains here. So now, let's give our friends at Banpresto an 8 for the paint job. I've never seen paint issues on their figures before, especially little stains like these that clearly came from this part of the piece. Other than that, the sculpt is super cool. I really love seeing Rimuru in his slime form. Whenever they show him as a slime in the series, in the anime, They make him look calmer, more reserved. When we saw Rimuru in his humanoid form, after the deaths of quite a few of his friends, he appeared in his humanoid form, angry, really serious, even crying at one point. Honestly, it was pretty chilling when he got mad and started unleashing that mega attack that turns him into Demon Lord. So, here you have Rimuru Tempest, Banpresto edition. Here's the second one, which is the Espresto edition, so you can check it out in detail and up close on Darkoburi's channel. And for our second unboxing, once again, it's our hero Rimuru Tempest. Remember, the series is called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Yeah, I know it's a really long title. Here we have the box again, Banpresto brand, like I mentioned before, and it's from the Espresto category. We hadn't done an unboxing of this type of figure until today, and honestly, I saw them on Crunchyroll. Remember, our friends at Bandai also bring them to us, and I said, I want these Rimuru Tempest figures for my collection. Remember, we already have two others that we did unboxings for, but the most spectacular unboxing was the special edition from Banpresto. So without further ado, here we have our Rimuru in a different pose with different colors. If you look closely, it's pretty interesting. On this side, there's a cut on the hand and a part. Well, a cut of the figure, now from the front, and the back part, just like we saw on the previous box. It also shows the back of the figure. And here, it's just a close-up, a bit more detailed, of the piece. Other than that, nothing else changes. Also, on the top part, if you look, it has the same logo. Everything's the same. Now that we have our Rimuru Tempest, here we're going to do a full analysis of the piece. The first obvious difference we have is the base. Honestly, I love the detail of the base shaped like a rock. It's honestly super cool. Underneath, there's nothing, no details, nothing extra. And on this one, it just says it's from Banpresto. But if you look, the base is designed to hold our Rimuru, both the bottom and the top, and obviously the lightning bolts. Some are attached here and others are attached to the figure. I didn't want to put them on yet so we can take a closer look at the piece, because honestly, it's super cool. I'm already starting to have doubts about which of the two I like more. I'm going to talk about this piece and some differences we're going to see with this other piece. Right off the bat, we see the same hair, but lighter blue here on the head, let's say the front part of the head, and it gets a bit darker on this side. But if you look closely, the length of this hair is a little shorter than this one, and it doesn't have the same effect at the ends of the hair, which looked a bit more transparent in the previous piece. Other than that, I like Rimuru Tempest's expression a bit more in this figure. It looks happier, but also more defiant. Honestly, the eyes are still that typical golden color of Rimuru, and they look super cool. Honestly, it's super cool. And yeah, I like the expression here more. The previous figure was a bit more like, oh okay, well yeah, I'm mad. But not really. And here it's like he's confident. He knows he's going to win. And both the pose and everything about it are just awesome. Let's take a closer look at the details. If you notice, he's holding the same sword, the same katana in his hand. But the first different detail is this part. If you look closely, here he has something hanging from where the handle of the katana is. It's this blue detail, and if you notice, it's the charm. On the other figure, which we can bring over here, that detail isn't there at all. It does have the golden part at the tip of the sword and the handle is brown. However, it's missing this accessory. Other than that, it has the same grip, support, and the same length of the sword. If you look where the sword is stored, where it's sheathed, it's the same dark black color as it was on the previous figure. What changes, if you notice, is the entire outfit is now completely Rimuru Tempest. I still have my doubts. I actually like the look or the black coat more than this blue look. It's a long sleeve coat, if you notice, with a bit of fur here on the edge, let's say, to keep our slime warm, but it's completely plain. Here you can't see any kind of buttons, you don't see where it closes like in the previous piece, and it's a solid, strong blue. It falls below the knees. If it were standing, it would fall a little below the knees, but honestly, the piece is spectacular because even from the pose, you can see how the coat itself lifts up. Check out how it comes all the way down to here, and everything that's shaped from Rimuru's back to the arms is super cool. Just now I had a bit of an issue. I struggled a little to insert what was the hand. The hand part came, the full Rimuru piece came, the base, and these 4 rays. So, where are we going to insert the rays? The first one, if you look, goes here on this part of the wrist. Another one goes here by the knee. One is here on the base, and another is on the other leg. That's how each of the rays will be placed to make the figure look spectacular. And the other detail I mentioned, if you notice, the scarf that Rimuru Tempest always wears is really, really long. Why? Because it wraps around twice and sticks out on both sides. That's why this piece really surprised me, because it looks like it's tucked in. But for me, as a fan of the series who's seen it so many, many times, the length wouldn't allow it to be tucked in. Why? Because there should be some kind of edge here, something that shows the scarf is being tucked in, and it's not the same length. And that's it. That's how our 2 pieces compare. Remember that the previous pieces were a Rimuru with wings, and this time, they're actually bat wings. Here, both still had the slime part, one in blue, the other in gold. But basically, it's because our slime decides how to come out, how to transform. And I have to say, lately it's been really comfortable, very summery, just coming out with a plain white undershirt. But honestly, here's the $1 million question. Which one did you like more? Personally, I prefer this one. I actually liked it more. This Rimuru Tempest looks a bit happier, more daring. This one looks way too serious. And honestly, it's super cool. What I like most about this piece is that it comes with both slimes, both in its humanoid form and its natural slime form. But here, with the lightning effects already set up, it looks like a spectacular piece. Here, the base was a luxury detail, but now it's up to you. Let me know, you at home. Write in the comments which one you liked more. Was it this one, which was the second, or this one, which was the first unboxing? Why? Because we're about to move on to the star unboxing, the main event, the one we've all been waiting for at home. Honestly, this Millim piece is coming up, and I'm going to give you a little spoiler right here. Just check out the quality of this piece. It's honestly amazing too. There was also a Millim poster in there. I'll show it off to you in a bit, but stick with us because the best part is coming up. From that time I got reincarnated as a slime. If you're at home and you haven't seen the series, I'm going to apologize because there are a couple of spoilers coming up. But otherwise, I can't really talk about Millim. Honestly, she shows up a bit later on, like in the 2nd or 3rd season. She becomes really good friends with Rimuru Tempest, and everyone is honestly shocked because she's already a demon lord. Like, she's one of the top, obviously among the beasts, and now she actually becomes friends with the slime. Everyone's like, wait, but isn't she supposed to be evil and super powerful? Among the demon lords, she's considered one of the top, like either 2nd or 3rd strongest. And honestly, when she becomes friends with Rimuru Tempest, everyone is surprised, but also grateful because she's protecting the village. So let's take a look at all the details here on the box. If you notice, it says here that it's with fans. Here, I would think about whether or not this is the brand of the figure. But here we also see that it is. Here we have the first question. You, sitting at home, which of the two do you think is the brand of the figure? Is it with fans? Because with fans shows up a lot, a whole lot, all over the place here. All over the side of the box it says with fans, but at the very bottom, the information says it's actually Kodansha. So I'll leave that as homework for you. Check it out. Like I said, I obviously ordered it from the Crunchyroll website, and it's also sponsored by Bandai. It's still a Bandai figure. Over here, hidden on this side, is our slime, which we'll take a look at. And here it is. Now, on each side and the back of the box, you can see the figure and its name. Here's the figure again in different poses. And now the slime is placed at the lower back of Millim. And honestly, this is a figure that, let's just say, might not really be suitable for the little ones at home. And this is how our Millim figure looks once it's set up. Honestly, I'm telling you, it came with our slime here, the Millim figure, and the base. The base is very simple. It has these hexagonal shapes, just drawn on, and it's completely white with the hexagons in black. But let's take a closer look at Millim. If you notice, she's a character with pink hair who always wears these braids. If you look closely, it also seems like her hair is blowing in the wind. Both braids come out, and up here at the top, you can clearly see where the hair ties are holding the pigtails. And all the hair, as you can see, is completely pink. Here, a little fringe sticks up at the top, styled in a way that, well, our Japanese friends like to show off their female characters. The question is always, why is it that the more armor a male character has, the higher his defense? But for female characters, the less armor they have, the higher their defense. Like I said, Millim is one of the most dangerous, and now, the strongest characters in the series that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and Rimuru Tempest was lucky enough to have her as an ally. She spent quite a long time in the city, and then suddenly decides to leave for reasons I'm not going to tell you. Why? Because it's a mega ultra spoiler. If you don't want to hear it, I won't say it, just relax. But now, let's take a look at some things about the figure. The first thing to notice is that Millim has, let's say, a drop of honey on her finger. But you can notice the same thing here. In this jar she's holding in her hand, this little container, it looks like it has the same stuff that she has on her finger. If you look closely, it's that same yellow color. It seems to be a drop of honey that's dripping. Millim almost always appears like this in the series, right before she shows up in her battle outfit. She has one shoulder exposed, and she's obviously wearing a black blouse with part of it, on this side, in white. If you look, that's the outfit she's wearing. What she has is a long sleeve with these gold-colored details coming out. But what you have to notice and see is that on this shoulder she doesn't have anything. It's completely exposed. But if we zoom in on the shoulder on this side, she has a green gem and what look like some claws. So, she only has a shoulder pad on this side, while the other shoulder is completely bare. Also, check out the color of her nails. They're painted black, which complements the details of her outfit. Everything else she has here, right at the bicep, she has some bold sleeves, and the rest is the black suit, obviously with this gold detail. She only has the part of her hand sticking out. She doesn't wear gloves like our Rimuru Tempest. Here, if you look closely, she's wearing a little glove that goes up to the top of her hand. And beyond that, there's not much else to analyze. On this side, she's wearing a band, let's say, with colorful floral patterns. And on the other side, she's got a stocking that's pink and white. The rest are just boots. Take a good look at the outfit. It's kind of like Scarlet Witch, you know, the Scarlet Witch from Marvel. But these here look like dragon scales. There's a little spoiler there. You already know it. But the spoiler goes along with showing off the poster. I'm going to show off the poster that came with the same figure. If you look closely, it's the exact same Millim figure in the same pose, this time with her tongue out, her blue eyes, as you can see, and she's wearing these boots. And for those of you watching the video for the first time, I'm going to give it away if you leave a comment telling me how Millim transformed into a demon lord. This is for fans of the series That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. If you tell me how she transformed into a demon lord, you'll get it delivered right to your home without having to do anything else but answer that question on YouTube. How she became a demon lord. From that origin, she wears this whole outfit, including the boots that have to do with dragons and the claw part she has here. On her chest, if you look closely, she's only wearing a necklace. Let's do a close-up in a moment. It looks like it could be made of dragon teeth. And everything else, the chest area, is actually a blouse with a white part. Alright, now let's do the final setup, just like in the representation. Here we see our slime, Rimuru, clearly blushing. Who wouldn't be blushing if they were put there? And she's completely happy. The final assembly of the piece is done like this. And now, here on the Darkoburi channel, I leave you with Millim, the demon lord from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And remember to check out all our social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, we're everywhere. We're even on Medium. Also, check out the website darkoburi.com, where you can find exclusive figures. We also have mugs, thermoses, keychains, caps, and new hats that just arrived from your friend Darkoburi. Remember to hit like, share, turn on the notification bell, and if you have any questions about how to get a particular figure for yourself that's on pre-order, write to me, send me a direct message, a private message. I'll answer you and help you out, no problem. And you know, Darkoburi, peace out.